Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Cardano and its native token ADA. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember, if you want an interest on your ADA, check out the ITC stake pool. Let's go ahead and jump in. ADA is actually holding up relatively strong. Okay, now you might say, well, Ben, you know, it almost hit $2.50 not that long ago. And while that may be true, and, you know, a pullback by about 50 cents of these prices is significant, with respect to Bitcoin, it's holding up relatively well. Okay, it's holding up relatively well. Now, we need to keep a close eye on Bitcoin, though, because we know that Bitcoin going back, if let's say if Bitcoin goes back to these levels, then it might be hard for ADA to hold on to the $2 milestone. Okay, that's the only thing we need to consider with respect to the health of the entire market. Is Bitcoin going to get back to being in a slightly bullish state? Is it going to go sideways for a while? If it's coming down, then it's going to be harder and harder for ADA to hold those prices. So my opinion is that the reason that ADA has been coming down over the last couple days from this blow off mania that we just had at 250 in the short term, of course, is because of Bitcoin's pullback. Okay, so if you look at the daily time frame for Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin has been pulling back fairly aggressively over the last few days. And it does make it challenging for ADA to hold the line at these high valuations if it's constantly fighting a bearish Bitcoin. Remember, in order for altcoins to really thrive, we want Bitcoin to be above its 20-week moving average. This is, historically speaking, this is what we've seen play out time and time again. In order to see them really thrive, we want Bitcoin to be above its 20-week SMA. Right now, Bitcoin is actually below it. Now, it's also a combination of the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA. Bitcoin did close above the 21-week EMA, in fact, by the weekly close. So this could theoretically be a wick if we come back up. But what I want people to be aware of is that even if ADA pulls back, even if it does, it's probably because the entire market is, not necessarily anything specifically wrong with ADA. Okay, it's just the entire market pulling back. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, ADA has been holding up about as best as could be expected given the circumstances. When we were talking about the ADA Bitcoin valuation a few weeks ago, and I was saying how bullish this looked to me, I was not expecting it to immediately pop from 2,300 Satoshis to 4,600. I mean, it basically doubled over the last few weeks, which to me is very bullish for ADA that it was able to do that. Remember, a lot of coins didn't do that. A lot of coins didn't really move over the last few weeks. ADA did move, and despite the fact that Bitcoin has pulled back from 64K down to the current prices of 43.6K, ADA is still above $2. Let's look at some historical moments here. So the week of April 12th, Bitcoin hit 64K. The week of April 12th for ADA, okay, so we're gonna go look at April 12th for ADA. The highest it went was $1.58, but it's been from the close to the open, it was you know, basically around $1.20. So despite the fact that Bitcoin has pulled back like $20,000, ADA has moved up like 70 or 80 cents. So it shows you how well Cardano has performed over the last few weeks. And again, I'm still very bullish on ADA for the market cycle. I think the fact that ADA is just chilling at $2 right now is testament to how strong it is. But remember, we need to stay pragmatic. We know that if Bitcoin pulls back here, it's going to be hard for ADA to hold the line against the US dollar. I'm shocked it's above $2 right now. Like, the fact that it is, again, it shows you how strong it is just based on the fact that it's still above $2, despite the fact that Bitcoin has been pulling back fairly aggressively. So with that in mind, you know, if we look at the ADA Ether valuation, it's still it still was able to move up past these prior local tops that we've discussed in the past. So not only was it able to do it here, it moved past it again. Again, these were the market conditions. We said it could theoretically do so. Again, I think ADA is a great hedge against Ethereum for the cycle, and I fully expect it to ultimately yield a higher ROI than Ethereum as measured from market cycle bottom. And what's impressive to me now, again, is how well it's holding up above $2. Now, as we go into the next few weeks, because I don't make a Cardano video like every day, it's more like every other day, but as we go into the next few weeks, remember that if the prices do pull back for ADA, it's most likely because Bitcoin's pulling back. So if you see ADA pulling back and you don't own Bitcoin, you're like, oh, what's going on? Look at Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's pulling back, that's your reason. If Bitcoin actually comes back up and stops being so bearish, then there's a good chance ADA could continue to rally. I mean, it's holding up relatively strong even with a fairly bearish Bitcoin. Imagine what it would be doing if we got another bullish Bitcoin. So in the grand scheme of the cycle, I think ADA has a long way to go. Just be prepared for dips. And obviously we've already had a pretty significant one with ADA. It coming down from the global top now about 25%. It's funny because it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it's down 25%. It's just because it briefly went to around 250 for a brief moment in time. Then now we can look at this and say we're down 24%. But in fact, we're at the prices we were at last week. So again, as I've said before, let's take it 1 week at a time. ADA continues to look relatively strong. The main thing that would bring it back at this point is Bitcoin continuing to dump lower and lower and lower. But remember, that's just a simple roadblock that ADA is going to have to overcome in the grand scheme of the cycle. And from here, I am relatively bullish as we continue to navigate the duration of the market cycle. Just be prepared for dips in the event that Bitcoin decides to take a dip of its own. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember to come stake your ADA with the ITC stake pool, and check out the premium list. You can find a link to the discount on that in the description below. Lock in the low rate. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Let's go for 410,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for getting me to 400,000. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.